Welcome to the Soul Tribe Podcast. The Soul Tribe Podcast was created to help you navigate through the world of spirituality, wellness, and self-development in an easy, grounded, and relatable way. We break down everything from the Akashic Records, manifesting, spirituality, and so much more. We want to help expand your boundaries and bring the spiritual world to you in a fun and easy way. Get ready to be inspired with tips, tools, and easy to digest information. Let's do this. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Soul Tribe Podcast. And today's episode is going to be me alone. Lorena is not going to be joining me, and I wanted to come on here specifically to talk about like the energies coming in, this August energy, and how I've heard some people feel, and maybe trying to understand it a little bit better or explain it a little bit. And what's happening really behind the doors? What's really going on with those energies? What are they doing for us? So the first thing to understand is and you guys know that I've been talking about the energies and the month of August coming. Like if you were listening to this a few months ago, you already expected August to have a specific energy coming in. And it is. I do think it's going to get more intense. It should get more intense from what I understand. But we're in it. We're in it right now. So it's no more speaking about it happening. It's already happening. And how can some of us feel with these energies coming in and what they're doing for us? I think a very common thing I'm hearing, especially between our community members, because we chat directly on a daily basis with everybody, and they chat with each other. And a lot of what I am hearing that they're feeling is a lot of exhaustion. Some of us are feeling disconnected from things. I've heard some people having issues with their stomach. I've also heard just feeling like, and this is what I have, just feeling like, how is the day going by so fast, or how are things it's like you have this specific amount of things you need to do in the day. It's like, wait, the day's done? It's over? Or, dude, how is it already Friday kind of energy? Or how did we get here so fast? Like, I don't even remember what happened on Wednesday and Thursday. So those are common things that people are feeling. There might be a lot of like feeling of the lower chakras kind of heavier, sort of say. And it could be like from intestinal discomfort to, I don't know, cramping or bloaty or things like that. Headaches. Oh, how could I almost forget this one? Headaches. There's a lot of people talking about having headaches or like feeling pressure on the head or the neck area, but mostly the head. Eyes. That's right. I almost forgot this one. Eyes. Because I don't write it down. I'm kind of just remembering. A lot of people are having issues with their like eyes, whether it's like irritated or dry or not feeling like their vision is really on point or like the way it usually is. And our senses, like any of your senses could be off out of whack or different or creating some sort of a shift. Remember fifth dimensional energy that we're going into from the third dimensional energy. Remember fifth dimensional energy, our senses are different. And I don't know if you've ever heard me talk about how like people tend to see ghosts from the peripheral. Like if you ever heard a ghost story or someone talk about like, I was in a haunted house or haunted this, and from the corner of my eye I saw that, or even alien stuff, people will say like, I saw from the corner of my eye. So the peripheral picks up on paranormal activity, and at some point in 5D, our senses change to the point where that peripheral vision that you have with that paranormal stuff becomes just their whole vision. You can see it from the front, from the side, everywhere, right? So our senses are changing. So our eyes are advancing or creating a shift. So that's the part where like people have like focus problems, because you have to learn to focus differently now or see things differently, or there's another layer of things to see and it's like confusing and you feel blurry or you feel off. And the headaches is because of the energies coming in and the pressure of the energy. It's very common. So I think out of all of them, that one with exhaustion is probably the most common one I tend to hear. I personally have had the headaches as well. Exhaustion, it's not that I'm exhausted directly. Oh, yeah, of course. So this is another one a lot of people have. I think, yeah, this is another majority have, yeah. So it's not that you have exhaustion because you're just exhausted. It's because a lot of people are waking up at odd hours and not being able to go back to sleep. And remember, your body's being hit by a different kind of energy, the vibration of that energy is more, it oscillates different. It's more intense in frequency and in oscillation. And so that affects the sleeping pattern it's very common. So you might be getting up or waking up at odd hours, like 1 a.m, 2 a.m, 3 a.m, and not being able to go back to sleep for 2 hours or more. I've had that quite a few times during this August energy, even a little bit before August began. I was already having it actually. So the energies were starting to come in at the end of July. So I was having that even before, towards the end of July to like the beginning of August. Now it's a bit better for me for the nights. I'm not sure how everyone else that's listening has experienced it, but for me it's calmed down a little bit. I don't think it's the end of the August energy waking me up in the middle of the night. I do think it's going to come back at some point. But it's common. When I talked about like the lower areas intestinal, it could be feeling really heavy or dense, could be just feeling like something's going on, but I can't really figure it out, or it's weird. Obviously, assuming that nobody's having any medical issue, it's very common for the root chakras to be changing and shifting their vibrations and being affected by the energies coming in as well. And it's almost like part of it reminds me a little bit of gravity, like the gravity energy affects us a little bit. It's like this frequency coming in and the oscillation that I was just saying. On top of that, we still have the pressure of gravity, but it's shifting a little bit. And so just like everything's a bit discombobulated, I guess would be the word. Everything's kind of like coming a little bit out of whack before it can align to the new way of vibrating in frequency. So having these feelings and sensations and not understanding what it is, it's just part of it. And remember, and I've said this more than once, the energies that come in waves, because if not, we wouldn't be able to take it. And so it's every time it comes in, every time it's a little bit more intense, or it's like higher highs and lower lows. And how they shift our energies. That's why you see the human resonance, like every time it's a little bit higher. When it hits its peaks, it's a little bit more. It can get a little bit higher because it's doing those higher highs, lower low scenario. And so that comes in waves. It's like one peak, okay, wave, okay, rest for a little bit, and we go back down to the bottom, and then boom, another wave. So that's how it's planned for the shift of our bodies. And some people might be feeling more pain or discomfort than others. That's dependent on many, many different things. But if I had to give a suggestion to help you deal with it better, I would say make sure that you're eating high vibrational foods. I've talked about solar water before. Make sure to maybe put a bottle of glass water in the sun. So solarized water, you can drink that. It's high vibrational. It's going to help your body kind of raise the frequency as well. And so when the energies come in, it's almost like you're more prepared for it and you're more aligned for it. I would say during these times of very intense energy waves coming in, I would say try not to eat too heavy. That's going to help you out because your body is less dense with less, a diet that's not weighing you down, sort of say. So what would like not dense foods look like, or what is that exactly? That would be basically plant-based, things that grow in the sun, things that our sun help make grow. Having the majority of that in your diet is going to really help you. If you eat a lot of meat, that might really weigh you down, and that's going to possibly make your symptoms or your discomfort a little bit worse. So just be aware of that. And also alcohol. So I'm not telling you not to go have a glass of wine and kind of sit back and relax on the porch and enjoy the day or whatever it is you're doing. But I'm saying is like if you consume a lot of alcohol, that's going to lower your frequency. And then you're going to get even more discomfort probably. And this is everything's not the same for everybody. So I'm just giving you the general kind of equation, sort of say. You have to figure it out and kind of try things out for yourself. Okay, so that. And so we were talking just about the frequencies, the oscillation, things that you might be feeling, discomforts you might be feeling. Let's talk about it from an emotional place. We've just been talking about the physical body, really, because I want to hit this from a place of like, okay, physically what you may be experiencing and how to improve that. emotionally how you might be experiencing it, how to improve that, and then also like your life sort of say. So the next one is emotional. Emotional wise, what I would say is that, like the saying, this, I always think of tarot, and I say this quite a few times when I talk about things. Like the tarot card, the tower, which if you look at the card, it's like a whole tower that's like collapsing and falling, and things are coming out of it and falling out of it. And it's like the collapsing of that tower. How does the universe function when it wants to create a shift, or it's in the process of shifting something or trying to make that thing shift? What the universe does is it has to create destruction. And so think about it in another really simple way. You have this house, and the house is kind of like really damaged and really old. And to be able to make that house grand and amazing again, so now we're talking about our reality in this case, that's the house. Our realities are the house and also our body. And so to make that house better again, you need to kind of like fill out all the cracks and the holes in the wall, put cement, put bricks, do the whole thing on the walls where you just repaint it and put it back up, maybe put a brand new roof. And so the universe, basically what it says is, I can't build off of this. It's saying to us, we can't build off of this house. This house is too decrepit. This house is way too like broken down. Maybe there's humidity and mold and holes and who knows what else is going on in that house. So the universe is saying, I can't even fix this structure anymore. It's not even fixable. The universe is saying, what I need to do is I need to knock down this entire structure, it's almost like create a clean slate, create a clean foundation, and from that clean foundation, build up to something even grander than that was there before. So that's what the universe is doing with these energies. And so how does that work? How does that house collapse or be broken down so we have a clean foundation? It's chaos. It shows up in our life like chaos. It shows up in our reality like chaos. It shows up in our immediate environment like chaos. So what the universe is going to start showing you, possibly in an emotional sense, is what chaotic emotions do you have inside? What unbalanced emotions do you have inside that are not going to allow us to build back up this grand structure of the new you? And so the universe wants you to see them. And sometimes we have it so buried in there and so hidden that the universe can't actually get you to get rid of it because you're not even aware of it. So it's going to have to possibly create scenarios in your life or around your life so that that emotion comes up and you become aware of it. So anything negative emotion, sadness, fear, worry, doubt, anything that's showing up because of maybe a scenario that's going on right now or started recently, what the universe is telling you is, you see this? You feel that? You see it now? Okay, now let's get rid of it. It can't be part of the new house. It can't be part of the new structure. It can't be part of your new reality. It's not going to suit you for the grander version of yourself and of our future reality. So try not to go into a victim role because the universe is going, look, you're feeling this. Okay, watch it. Look at it. We're done with it now. Let's get rid of it. So there's going to be a lot of chaos possibly in our internal world or in our external world, depending on where we are in the world and what's going on. The universe wants to start from a better, cleaner slate. It has to. There's no other option. So don't go into fear mode. Don't go into victim role, whether that's in your personal life, whether that's in your internal world, or whether that's your immediate environment, wherever you are in the world. And so I'm speaking about this in this case from like an internal place, how it comes up. In our world, like I just said, in our immediate environment, in our reality, it could show up like things, you know how I see it when I'm like talking to you guys about it? I see like lid popping. Like if it were a pressure cooker and a lid just flies off because the pressure cooker is like, no, too much pressure in here, boom, the lid flies off. I see a lot of lids flying around the world. So our realities, a lot of stuff are being either brought to light, uncovered, because it needs to be seen. Just like the emotion thing I was just talking about, it needs to be seen. It needs to come to people's attention so we can go, this doesn't suit us anymore. Or, for example, this never suited us, actually. It was never for a greater good. And this is when we don't go into anger mode, don't go into like attack mode, but we go into action mode, as in like, we're going to create a clean foundation. We're going to come together. There's a lot of union that needs to happen. It's like the union is kind of the way of gathering power and energies, and you're part of the universe. So you are part of the energy and the power of the universe. You are part of the solution of these problems, of these chaoses that need to happen in our reality for them to be fixed for our greater good and for our future, the fifth dimensional future, right? So just make sure not to go into like super angry mode or super deception mode or, of course, victim role, like as usual. Just be aware of that. And so the energies coming in are affecting us to the point of showing us things, allowing us to understand what needs to be released, changed. It could come in as our physical stuff. I already explained how to like try to maybe possibly feel better with your physical body. We know it's going to come in with that chaos energy, whether it's our internal world or external world. But remember that we're rebuilding. And so things might surface so we can then after get rid of them and rebuild. That house, the bricks, the old bricks, the decrepit building that was our life, our internal world, our physical body, our reality, it needs to be kind of totally tossed to the side, and then we need to build back up again. So, and I think that there's like I think there's a tendency to romanticize like this whole energy thing. There's a tendency like really romanticize this whole energy thing, and it's like, yay, the energy's coming in, the human resonance is going to spike. And I'm not saying don't be excited about it, because it's part of like the amazing changes that we're going through. But what I mean is like romanticizing in the sense that like where we think it's going to be like amazing and we're just going to manifest everything right away. That's not how it works. It's coming in. So we are the ones in power. We are the ones in control, and we are the ones our soul signed up to be here, and they have to be the co-creators. We have to be active co-creators with the universe. We're here to master that. We're here to be part of the universe and represent the universe in that sense. And so when those energies come in, don't just think it's going to be the most beautiful walk in the park and that reality is going to change all around us. No, the energies coming in are going to ignite scenarios and things so that us, the co-creators, can become active co-creators, conscious co-creators. We need to expand our consciousness, and we need to take responsibility for things that we might have let go, slide, that might have affected us negatively. And I can tell you personally, in my own life, I have quite a few things coming up and going, oh, I didn't even realize that I wasn't dealing with it. I didn't even realize I wasn't confronting it. I didn't even realize I wasn't closing this door. So I'm telling you these things coming in. I'm on that same boat as everybody else. Lorena and I are on the same boat as everybody else. We have these things coming up. We're having to like understand them, not go into victim role, go into action mode, go into like empowerment mode, and try to like fix the scenario and understand them as well. Becoming active, conscious co-creators of this reality is our future. It's our present and it's our future. So that means that you can't expect others to come in. First of all, you can't expect everybody else to change. All you can do is change yourself and then begin to change your own internal world and then your own reality as best you can as a co-creator wherever you are with the whole conscious step. As well, we need to make sure not to give other people responsibilities. So other people shouldn't be taking action for us. I'm not saying don't like go to somebody to assist you with the process, but I'm saying is you're the one that needs to make the decision. You're the one that needs to see the problem, the scenario, the issue, and you're the one that needs to decide that you don't want that anymore, or decide that you want it to change, or decide you want it to be better. So you're taking responsibility for yourself. You're not going externally to blame anyone else outside of you. You're saying, actually, this has been showing up because this was my belief system, or because this was my limiting belief system, or I didn't feel like I deserved better. So whatever it is why that was showing up, understand that it was showing up because you were allowing it to show up. You were permitting it to come into reality. You need to take responsibility for it. Co-creators are well aware of the fact that they're the ones creating what's happening to them. And again, I'm on the same boat. I'm also realizing things that I was permitting to happen to me, that I was permitting to be part, that I was actually allowing to be a part of my life. And I'm realizing, oh, I thought that I had kind of closed this up and did something with it, or, allowed it to leave my life. But actually I'm realizing now that I was permitting it in some sort of a way. I just wasn't conscious of it because I wasn't aware of myself that well, or I just wasn't aware of that part of myself because I wasn't looking. I was too busy with this or with that or with life or surviving or whatever. So we need to remember that. when these energies come in, things might come up. When these energies come in, feelings might come up. When these energies come in, we might start seeing things we didn't see before. And we need to begin to rebuild. So letting go of all those things is one thing. The other thing is allowing yourself to rebuild your life, your body, your emotions, your reality. So now you need to become your own construction worker, sort of say. You need to become the responsible one for your life and say, no, I'm not creating that reality I had before. From now, I'm creating this reality I want. So, and this reminds me a little bit of the Mayan astrology episode where the suggestion was if you don't know what you don't want, write what you don't want. So this is the same thing. It's like, what's that list that you really want? Okay, good. You really want it. Like, be very clear with the universe what you want. And whatever comes up in this era of energy of time that you're like, oh, this is something that's probably been blocking that to come in that I had on my list. So we need to become much more self-aware, much more conscious of ourselves and how we might self-sabotage, how we might manipulate ourselves or even maybe people around us. Because we might be manipulating ourselves, but also people around us. And quite a few times when I did Akashic Records reading for people, I've gotten more than once scenarios where people were just self-sabotaging themselves. And off the top of my head, the only thing I can think of is, that typical mindset or feeling people have when things are going really good. Okay, I'm waiting for the other thing to drop. I'm waiting for something to happen. It cannot be so good for so long. Something's gonna, hit the fan. And that's something that sometimes that might be a belief system, or sometimes that might be coming from a place of more self-sabotage. I don't have the right to feel happy and be happy. I don't have the right to do this or that. And there has to be a lot of us this year remembering, especially during the year, this Mayan year that began, right? This year we have to continue to remind ourselves that we need to stop self-sabotaging ourselves, but also we're in the energy and power of the year of creating what we want. And with the energies coming in and this stuff coming up, it's telling you fix it. It's not telling you going to victim role. It's not telling you still have problems. It's telling you fix this. This is not going to suit you for the next step. This is not going to suit you for the most improved and amazing version of yourself. So it's showing it. It's just, the universe is just showing it to you. It's going, look. Okay, we're done with this. Let's get rid of it. You deserve better. Get it out. So be very, very kind to yourself as well during this era, because some stuff that might come up might not be easy. And some stuff that might come up might be challenging at times. It might feel like a test, but try not to take it in and the universe is testing me again. Oh my gosh, I need to pass this test. Take it in the universe is telling you, you actually don't deserve this. Look, you don't deserve it. Take it in as an empowerment, a pre-empowerment step, sort of say. Recognizing it and then going, no more, I'm done. And I would say the other suggestion would be let things flow. It's really important. And personally, I experienced this literally this week. So I don't want to get too into my personal information, but it's you never know how the universe is going to work. You never know how things can fix themselves, and you never know who's going to be the person that's going to assist you in that process or help you find the solution to that. And just to not to go into too much detail of my own personal scenario, but I want you guys to understand how we need to be very flowy and not go into victim role. So I recently was able to finally get a car, which I need, to begin to go to work, and then eventually we're going to school and all that stuff, right? So especially here where we are, buses are not the most comfortable scenario and things like that. And that's the only public transport here. So I really did, as a mom as well, I really had to get a vehicle. And so when I finally got a vehicle, literally 1 or 2 days, literally guys, I went to get the vehicle thinking, this is why I need it. And so I got something in my price point and something that was obviously not going to break down, but it actually had some issues. 2 or 3 days after I got it, it literally had issues. And I remember contacting the person I bought it from and going, dude, did you have this issue? And they're like, oh, well, when I got it a year ago, yeah, but it never again. And so I was having it then. was like, okay, that's weird. It just popped up for me as soon as I got the car. And so I found someone that could fix it for me, not too expensive. And so the person's like, oh, can you just go pick up this product we can use to fix it? Cause they're kind of like helping me out, sort of say, giving me a hand. So it was like, I'm not going to make the person go get whatever parts we needed. And so they sent me to a specific store. And it's really funny how it played out, because they sent me to a specific store, and I knew Lorena was in the area at the time when they told me what product to buy. And I was like, oh, Lorena's actually around there right now. I don't want to have to go on my own. I want to go all the way there. I want to drive all the way there. So I was like, called Lorena. I said, hey, Lorena, are you around here? She's like, yeah, I'm actually like a block away. I'm like, okay, pass by there and pick up this list of stuff that I need. And she went and she got it. And she came back home, and then I was told that it was the wrong product. So then I had to go later on, but by the time that I found out it was the wrong product, there was already traffic. I'm like, I'm not going to go in traffic. So I was like, I'm just going to go after traffic. And so, because the store was open till later. So I went after traffic, and I ended up getting the stuff that I needed and changing the products and stuff like that. And I bumped into somebody because I wanted to make sure I got the right thing. So I found somebody that works at the store, and I'm like, okay, this is what I need, it's for this. And they kind of helped me pick out the right stuff. And then conversation started flowing. And for some reason, I was very content to tell the person things that I was going through, my personal life, like, oh, I'm having issues with this and this and this and this. And they're like, oh my God, no, wait. And it was the funniest thing, because they were like, oh, I think I might have someone that can help you with that. And I was like, oh, here, I'm going to give you my name and my number. And I gave the person my name and my number, and I left. And then by the time I got home, like, the car was fixed. I had passed by with the product, and they fixed my car and stuff. And then I came back home, and I got home a little bit late. By the time I got home, they called me, and the person from the store called me and was like, oh, you know what? I just spoke to someone that walked in the store after you left, and they said that I could actually help you with this. They're calling you tomorrow. So the person from the store passed my number on to this other person that they knew via the store. And that individual called me the next day. And literally within 2 to 3 days, they helped me resolve a problem that I've been having for half a year. Half a year. It's insane. And so I'm like, wait, let's think about this for a second. Half a year of fighting with this scenario in my life that I needed to fix, and I couldn't find a way around it, and I made so many calls, and I went to so many people. I could not resolve it. There's no way I could resolve it. I was starting to give up, and I thought, whoa, all the synchronicities that had to come into play for this thing to happen. And I was thinking about it from like a universe. That's why I'm talking about it here, not to like tell you my personal life, because I want you guys to understand the synchronicities had to come into play. I had to get the car first, right? And then after getting the car, which was a whole scenario in itself that played out to like, which was great. Like it happened in my, like, it helped me out. A lot of things happened to help me out, because I was like, had to go through a lot to get a vehicle. Okay. So that, and then, I had to get a vehicle that had to have a specific issue, that had to take me to a specific store. On top of that, I had to find someone that was like able to fix it, that was in my price range, because I really couldn't afford to go to anywhere to get it fixed. I just needed somebody to help me out. And so that individual had to tell me, I need you to go to this store. Actually, I found out later on that you can get that from other stores. But for some reason, the synchronicity of the universe made that person tell me, go to this store. I sent Lorena, of course. But Lorena had to pick up the wrong product, because the idea was that I had to go to the store. Because when I went to the store, I would bump into that specific person that works at the store. I would tell that specific person my problem. That person would then literally tell someone that walked into the store right behind me. Because I get, from what I understand, the individual at the store was just, I had just left, and they were like, oh my God, this girl that just came in is having this problem. And so the person that walked in, they were telling that to them. I'm like, oh, you know what? Let me see what I can do. I might be able to help her out. So then not only did I have to have the car, the part that's breaking down, be sent to that specific store, have to go myself. So Lorena had to get the wrong product for me. So I had to go myself, so that I had to bump into that person. And then so that person right after I left had to bump into this other person. And then something that I had been having issues for half a year was fixed via that. It was because I had finally been like, I had been in a place where I was like, no, how can it be that I can't get this resolved? And I started looking for solutions again because I had given up. I started looking for solutions again from a place of less chaotic. Because before I was looking for a solution, I was like, no. And I was calling like more, I was like desperate. That's what it was. That's a word. It was a more desperate energy. I was trying to fix it from a more desperate energy. But I also think that the energies coming in were helping me go, this is a problem. It's not suiting anybody. Let's bring it back up and let's deal with it from a place of more tranquility and less chaotic. I need to resolve this now. Oh my gosh, this is like going to really affect me in a bad way. But the reason why I'm telling you the whole story is for you guys to see the synchronicities of how it played out, so you guys understand that you never know how the universe is going to fix it. And this is a really good thing to remember when we talk about manifesting, whether it's a problem you have or something amazing you want to bring into your life. We sometimes go, oh, I'm going to do like this and this and this, and this is how the money's going to come in. Let's say money. This is how the money's going to come in so I can get this thing over there. Like, I don't know. I want to buy that house, or I want to move to this country, and I don't know how I'm going to get like the paperwork. And you're like thinking, I'm going to only do it this way. You never know how it's going to play and how the universe is going to fix it for you. So I think that what we need to remember when we talk about this is it's on your list. You checked your emotions, you checked your belief systems, you know that you feel like you want it, you know that it's coming from a place of a heart chakra, you know that you deserve it, and you have no programs that are going against it, and now you're letting go. Don't be stuck with the way it has to be resolved, and don't get stuck with the way it has to play out. Let it go and let things flow, and when things begin to happen, don't go into victim role. I could have gotten complete victim role, like, I just got this car. How is it that all of this is happening already? I could have gone into victim role, totally broken down, and maybe fixed it in a chaotic way, and then I never would have had the synchronicities play out. Who knows? You don't know. And so I wanted to remind everybody that you gotta trust the universe. It's almost like release into the universe. You did all your shadow work and stuff. Just release into the universe and know that it's going to come back in however way it has to. So we also need to allow ourselves to be helped. I think this is something a lot of people have issues with. And I'm specifically thinking about somebody that I had a reading with, and they were like, you got to let yourself be helped. Sometimes things get resolved or amazing things come into your life via being assisted by somebody else. So we have to make sure to let ourselves know that we're not alone, that the universe is going to work in whichever way it has to. It might be through somebody. And if we're in an ego place, or we're in a place of like, no, I'm going to do this myself, only I'm going to do it, then the universe can't work through other people. The universe can't work through other external environments to assist you with that. So we need to let go of believing that we're alone. Remember, the universe is going to work through whatever it has to and the way it has to. We need to make sure that we're letting things flow. Don't go into victim role. We need to let the synchronicities play out. We need to accept help. Don't get closed. Don't put up a wall. Don't break down and just go into your house and go into a big bubble and cry about it. Like, let yourself be assisted. And it's funny because I said to my neighbor the other day, I was like, you know what I learned from, I was kind of saying it jokingly. I was like, you know what I learned from this? I learned that bitching is a good thing. Because like, the thing is, like, it was a joke, but I wasn't at the time when I was talking to the individual at the store, telling them my issue, I wasn't actually bitching. I was actually going, oh my God, yeah, but this, because we were talking about like struggles and things that we had in similarities that we found. I was like, oh my God, yeah. And on top of that, this is something that like continues to happen to me. And I wasn't bitching. I was sharing, really. But so I said as a joke, like, I learned that the universe wants to help you out and brings in synchronicities when you bitch. But it's a joke. It's that I was open to share. I'm not pretending that my life is perfect. I'm not acting my life is perfect. And I'm not closing down to like not talk to people around me. I'm just like, when I bump into you and we're talking, I'm like, oh, and the energies are kind of like communicating. I'm like, yeah, and this as well. And I'm kind of sharing my current life scenario and sharing myself. I think that's why the universe was able to help me, because I was open. Because if I had a wall up and I never told that individual something that I was currently going through, that person wouldn't have been aware of it. And then that person wouldn't have been able to assist me. So I think that we should make sure we don't have walls up. Allow ourselves to be assisted. Allow ourselves to speak our truths. Again, not victim role. We're just speaking, being like sharing ourselves with other people. And it could be somebody at a store. Like, it could be your neighbor. Like, it could be your best friend. And then the funny thing is, I was talking about this amazing synchronicity that comes into play because I have another neighbor that I bump into a lot, and we were talking about this amazing synchronicity and how I couldn't believe how it played out, and we were kind of like smiling and laughing about it. And they said something that stuck with me that I said, I have to repeat this in the podcast. I have to repeat this in the podcast because this is something I don't do. And the advice, what they said was, which really stuck with me, was you got to celebrate the wedding, the wedding before it happens. You got to have the celebration before the wedding actually happens. I thought, I never do that. I always wait for, I'm like, no, because I'm scared to jinx it. I'm like, no, I'm not going to celebrate because I might jinx it. It might fall through. No. And so I don't let myself actually celebrate. And then I realized that celebrating is actually another way of having gratitude. So we actually do have to kind of, even when there's like a little thing finally goes into play or something finally, some inertia is broken with a scenario, an issue, or a dream that we have, I think that we should learn to celebrate those. Even though it's not the full whole scenario, it's almost like, thank you, and I recognize it, and I'm seeing it, and I'm hopeful, and I have faith in the process and the synchronicities, and I'm celebrating life, and I'm celebrating this that came in, and I have gratitude. At the end of the day, all that is gratitude. So that conversation, I never even thought when I had that conversation, they're like, you have to celebrate the wedding before you have it, before it goes through. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I never do that. I need to do that. I think it's because I had a comment going, well, we'll see. It's almost all fixed. It was kind of like, things happened, but it's not 100% yet. It's like 70%. I said something like that. So it was like, no, celebrate. It was an advancement. It was something moving, celebrate that. I'm like, oh my gosh, yes. Because by me celebrating it, I'm having gratitude, and the universe is going to continue to work in my favor and have its synchronicity. So I think that's something that I needed to hear as well. And I was very excited to bring it into today's episode to talk about. So remember all of these things when the energies come in, and not just for August. Remember all these things that we just talked about for all the other months and all the other moments of energies coming in, because this isn't the only time energy is going to come in. We're going to have energies coming in again at some point in the year after this month. I do believe that the energies will carry out intensely like this for the rest of August, and it might kind of trickle into a little bit of September, but it should start kind of dimming down a little bit in September, and towards the end of the year we'll get another kind of wave spike, interesting one coming in again that I'm aware of. So use this energy to your favor. Don't go into victim role. Let synchronicities play out. Celebrate even before something happens or while it looks like it's going to happen. Allow yourself to flow so that those synchronicities can play out, because if you get stubborn or you get fixed on a way that you have to do something, you might actually miss an amazing synchronicity coming in. Try to make sure to have your body vibrating in a way so you don't have so many symptoms, secondary symptoms, or heaviness. Also, detoxing. We have quite a few members from the community. They're currently doing parasite cleanse. So maybe you want to do a detox, a parasite cleanse. Maybe you want to do a heavy metal detox. I really recommend that one for a lot of people, because if we have a lot of heavy metals in our body, which is all around us and in our food and everything, if you have a lot of that accumulated in your body, it will make the process super dense, but also your body can't take in the frequencies as well and create the changes it needs to. All the information I talk about in my Cosmic You video 3, which I'll make sure to leave below the link, courses that I've been doing that are super cheap. For now, I have 3 classes up, video 1, video 2, and then video 3. Each video teaches something different from the cosmic standpoint, from the universal standpoint, from our creator standpoint. I teach all that stuff that has to do with our universe, creation, and how we're going through the shift now, which is video 3 specifically. So check that out. I'll leave a link below for the classes of Cosmic You. What else? I want to make sure not to miss anything. Oh, remember, we're rebuilding. So the foundation needs to kind of be clean. So we might have some chaos around us, whether that be us, our life, our reality, our environment, our town, our country, our continent, etc. So don't go into victim role and think that this awful things are happening. Everything that has to happen is going to happen. And sometimes that thing that has to happen is actually destruction because it no longer suits us. This can go for anything from the structure of our reality, the way we function as a society, social structures, medical structures, financial structures. These energies coming in, they're here to break those things down that no longer serve us. So don't go into freak out mode. Make sure that you're allowing whatever has to happen, and take responsibility as well. Don't let entities or anybody, even somebody in your life, tell you how or the way you need to do something, because you're becoming a conscious co-creator of your reality with these energies coming in. That means that you are your boss. You are the one that commands your reality. You're not going to be told anymore how you need to do things, the way you need to do things, when you need to do things. So we're in the slow process of coming into that energy. Just remember that. So empower yourself so you can get into that place, that co-creator place, and that you're the one that's commanding all those things. I hope this episode helps everybody deal a little bit better with the energies of August coming in. Oh, that's right. Almost forgot. I'm still doing my August Akashic Records reading sale. So for those that might be new to here or that don't remember, Lorena and I both are Akashic Records readers for quite a few years now. Lorena's information is going to be below in the episode as well if you want to get a reading with her. If you want to get a reading with me, I'm going to leave below the link for the sale of my August. So any reading that you book in August using that link, you can book any day in August. Very easily, you just click on it. It takes you directly to the link where you pick the date, the time, and you just check out, and it goes right into my calendar, and you get the link for the video call right away. So super easy. Lorena's link is going to be below as well. It's attached to her website. And a quick reminder that we do dual readings. That means that you'll be getting a reading, and Lorena and I at the same time open up that person's or your Akashic Records, and both channels are channeling for you, which is a great thing that we love to do, because Lorena channels a specific information she's really good with, and I channel information specific that I'm really good with, and so you get like the best of both channels, because every channel is different. No one channel is the same. So look below for any of the links that you might want to, especially the Cosmic U classes. And I hope this episode helps everybody understand how it functions, energy functions. And I hope this helps everybody understand what they might have been feeling lately, or even the chaos that might be showing up around them. So empower yourself, don't limit yourself, and just be kind. If you need to sleep back an extra hour, take a nap, take a day to do nothing, whatever you got to do to feel better or just be calm, because there could be a lot of stress coming in, and you might need to just allow yourself to let it go for a little bit. So that. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Bye. Thank you.